Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. Fairly flat day out there, not a whole lot of day trading opportunity, but there is something that I'm going to be watching for over the next few days, and it is rotation, but I'm going to be watching for rotation between the tech sector and the Biden sectors. I'll show you what I mean. So we got the 4-hour time frame on the S&P 500 futures chart. We set the high or low overnight, and then trading today, we broke resistance, no real follow through, we held support. So a bit of indecision, and for me, indecision after a big bull move means watch for consolidation. It's essentially a bull break showing me that the bulls are a bit tired. We're not seeing a whole lot of follow through. And again, we are due for a daily higher low. We've set a higher low every single day for the last 8 days in a row. When that pattern breaks, there's tons of space for the higher low. But again, just watching for signs that the bulls are getting tired. And that was what was showing up today. Doesn't mean we have to pull back tomorrow, but it's the initial signs of it for the first time on this move. The NASDAQ 4-hour set the higher low overnight, a bit more convincing of a bull break, but again, the same thing, a lack of follow through. So if we break the lows of overnight last night on both of these charts, the 4-hour uptrends are lost, and then we look for daily consolidation, and we look for a higher low to form. And just to look at it on SPY, again, SPY higher low every single day for 7 days. And QQQ, look at the range today. Extremely small range. QQQ, upper wick. And again, just bulls being a little bit tired. And that's fine. After the move that they've made over the last 4 trading days, they've earned a little bit of a breather. So, watching for healthy consolidation and watching for rotation, as I mentioned. So what we observed over the last month was as the tech sector was pulling back, the Biden sectors, and again, that's solar, MJ, and electric vehicle names, they were very correlated with QQQ on the way down and very correlated with it during this sideways tightening range. Then QQQ broke bullish and it left the Biden names in the dust. And again, you just got to look at the names that I'm watching. When I'm saying Biden names, the names that I am watching, Tesla, NIO, TAN, MSOS. And we look at some of those names. We look at TAN and MSOS every day, but talk about NIO and Tesla a lot as well. So again, this is QQQ, and this is Tesla. So we haven't broken bullish yet, but what I'm watching for is little daily bull flags on Tesla and NIO to try and confirm daily trend changes and play catch up. So we saw these sectors correlate very significantly with tech. And over the last 2 weeks, that correlation changed. What I am watching for is the potential that consolidation in our major tech names, and our major tech names have been running. Google breakout to all-time highs, Facebook breakout to all-time highs, Microsoft same deal. So I'm watching for potential profit taking in big tech, just looking for daily higher lows, but the potential that that profit taking then looks to the names that have not run yet. When you are in your strongest market, and this is happening in the cryptocurrency space right now, I'll talk about that in just a second, but you see one sector run or a group of sector runs, and then you see the other laggards run. I mean, we've been watching that since over the last year. That's what happened with tech and stay-at-home names flying, and your financial sector and laggards, airliners, cruise liners, etc., doing nothing, and then a big move out of the laggards. The healthy money rotation says, okay, we're going to make money over here, then we're going to take our profit, we're going to make money over here. And right now, the cryptocurrency space is seeing that as Bitcoin is trading sideways just under its all-time high, and the altcoins are going wild, and people are going into this altcoin. And then the same setup is there, but hasn't broken out yet on this coin, so they're piling into this coin. And again, it's just musical chairs of making profit in a healthy bull market. So what I'm watching for is tech sector, healthy profit taking, daily higher lows, and looking for that to potentially go into the Biden sectors that are currently laggards to the tech sector. That is a bias because that is what I'm looking for, and I'm not seeing it at this point. Just the tiniest little shades of it being seen today, but I need to recognize that bias in myself because if I'm just sitting here and I'm completely oblivious to the fact that I have this bias that I am looking for, that can get me into trouble as a trader. And again, this applies, you can apply so many concepts of trading to life in general. If I have a bias that I am not aware of it can get me into trouble. If I'm aware of that bias, it's like putting a leash on it. I can control it, and I can be aware of it and say, okay, this is what I'm looking for, but I have to be sure that I'm seeing the signs of proof. Let's say I meet somebody new, and I don't like people with mustaches, and this guy's got a mustache, and I've got this bias where I don't trust this dude. I just met him, don't trust him. And maybe my mustache bias is unreasonable, but I can recognize I don't trust this guy and say, well, why don't I trust this guy? I just met him. And then trace it back and say, oh, he's got this big old mustache. And I had this experience from 5 years ago from the guy with the mustache. So, okay, recognize the bias. I realize it's there. And then I can dismiss it to a certain degree. In that instance, I would want to dismiss it because I'm sure he's a nice guy with a nice mustache. The point is self-reflection. You've heard me talk about that before. Reflect, because there's a lot going on in your brain psychologically, and we need to recognize it because, again, it's way too easy for us to just get into tunnel vision and completely disregard all that underlying psychological stuff that's going on. And again, that's when we get into trouble, especially when money is involved. Okay, IWM. I'll talk about those sectors more and what I'm watching for as we get to them. IWM, so we've got a bull break over the high of yesterday, but again, no follow through, and it closed down near the low. Yet today was mostly flat, and this week there hasn't been a lot of day trading opportunity. This week so far, I've been really happy with half-day maker trades, and it's the kind of scenario where I know, I started this morning live stream and I said, everything's pretty flat. All of our sectors are flat, and SPY is flat. And then at 2 p.m., I said the exact same thing. So not much changed during the trading day. So that means there's not a whole lot of opportunity day trading. Obviously, there's individual tickers doing their thing that have more volatility, but on the whole, I know that on a day like today, and so far it's been 2 days in a row, to just trade less and stay sharp for tomorrow and to not overtrade. So IWM, if we break this little low at 223.57 and 223.84, two lows right near each other from the last 2 days, we've got plenty of space for a daily high or low. Anything above 213.14 keeps the daily high or lows intact. Financial sector bulls, there was a lot of positioning today where we had the start of the morning, QQQ at the low of the day, XLF at the high, and then XLF rejected from hourly resistance of 34.85. From yesterday, our 34.85 was an hourly lower high. The high of today rejected, and then we flipped. So XLF strong in the morning, QQQ at the low of the day, QQQ recovered and XLF stayed strong, and then XLF started to fade back as QQQ held its gains. So no red flags on XLF, just inability to break hourly resistance, and we need an hourly trend change back to the bulls to set a daily high or low, anything above $34. We would have to lose 34 for us to say, uh-oh, is that going to be a weekly lower high? So if 34 holds, we're not worried about it. XLV, healthcare, daily high or low set, but we did fail resistance. Resistance was 117.97. We pulled back 28 cents below that level. So it'll be a red flag short term if we break 116.02, because that will be a failure to break resistance and then a break of short term support, which will mean zoom out and watch for the potential of weekly consolidation. We may need to set a weekly high or low. So that's a key short-term support level to be watching at 116. Biotech sector, daily consolidation underway. Really nice top fishing play today. And I missed this one. There's a lot of opportunity in the biotech sector, especially with 3 times leveraged ETFs in both directions. And, I talk about how volatility traders need to devote a whole lot of time and specialize trading the volatility indices and instruments, I should say. And the biotech sector is really like that as well. If you are comfortable with the biotech sector and that is your wheelhouse and edge as a trader, there is so much volatility. And again, the 3 times leveraged ETFs, when you're seeing the ETF itself making moves like this, where even just this last 4-day bounce was 10% plus, the leveraged ETF is going 30% in a few days. So in another life, I would be focusing on the biotech sector a lot more. Right now, I've just got, I have to keep an eye on everything. I'm not able to focus in as much as I want to, but there's a lot of opportunity with XBI, LABU, and LABD. 3 things. So, top fishing play, that was a bearish entry. Inside bar breaking bearish, that was a bearish entry. And both of them provided significant gains if playing the leveraged ETFs. So daily lower high has now been set. 139.81 is now our most important short-term daily resistance. And it's up to the bulls to hold 126.26 and then break that resistance to confirm a daily trend change. Again, we have not confirmed a daily trend change. There's my circle from the last time I said it yesterday. We have not confirmed a daily trend change since the all-time high. Have to do it. That means the bulls need to change the hourly trend back in their favor while holding 126.26 to set a daily higher low. We'll be watching for hourly oversold conditions, which we got right at the end of today. But again, when I'm looking for a daily higher low, I'm looking for hourly oversold conditions to potentially be a clue. Got a question today from a member saying, hourly oversold bounces or just oversold bounces in general not working like they used to just a couple months ago when it was just money. And that was, again, back burner trades coming off of all-time highs, first hourly oversold conditions in a daily uptrend. I mean, the probabilities on those trades was so sky high. But that's changing. So when I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, I'm watching first hourly oversold conditions, looking for a daily higher low, it's a completely different setup. We're in a daily downtrend. The burden of proof is completely on the bulls, whereas in a different scenario, when you're coming off the all-time high and in a daily uptrend, the burden of proof is on the bears. So you're a lot more comfortable playing oversold bounces on something in an uptrend versus oversold bounces on something in a downtrend. So keep that in mind. Daily trend change needed for the biotech sector bulls. SMH, pullback today, certainly overdue. 3 gap up, bearish reversal pattern yesterday. Even though we closed at the high, we're pulling back today. So we're looking for a daily higher low with tons of space. And the bulls are looking for an hourly trend change back in their favor for the daily higher low to try and shape up. And the bulls are hoping for a cup and handle. And again, it's not your picture perfect. For me, the most important factor of a cup and handle is a clear resistance level, consolidation. I don't care if it's rounded. I want it to be somewhat rounded, but I don't care that we have this spike in there. It's not a bowl. I don't care. What matters to me is resistance, consolidation that's significant, the inability to break resistance after getting very close, and then a bull flag. Because it's the psychology of the pattern that matters to me. It's the inability to break resistance. It's the bulls that are going to take profit. They're taking profit. The bears that are going to top fish the all-time high. They're making bearish entries. And then you set a quick daily higher low. You squeeze all those new shorts. And it shows sustained buying. And the bulls buying the dip and leading to a new all-time high. So bulls are hoping that this remains a daily bull flag. What's our criteria of whether it remains a daily bull flag? We can look at retracement size. For me, I would be going off of this level of 224.41 as that's our most clear recent pivot. And you can see we have tons of space to maintain it. Even if I went off this little higher low here, we're still above the 382 retracement, which is still a potential bull flag. So curious to see what the next couple days of consolidation look like to see if it remains a bull flag. Solar sector tan, daily trend change needed, tightening range, low, high, higher low, lower high is now set at 94.24. The bulls must hold 81.07 and break the daily lower highs to shift momentum. Again, there is no sign of money coming into the solar sector right now. It's just something I'm watching for over the next 2 days. I'm more interested in MSOS and Tesla and NIO. I don't trade TAN. I don't trade solar names. It's just something that I know is in that grouping. So I check in on it to see if there's any clues that I can get from it. But I'm focused on Tesla's daily little bull flag attempt and NIO's as well. And if this remains a quick little daily bull flag, the break of 718 can potentially have some nice momentum behind it. NIO has a lot more work to do. It's just trying to set the higher low and break resistance. The biggest difference is Tesla can take out both resistances at once. Whereas NIO, if we take out 42.06 and confirm the daily trend change, we still got 10% to go to get to the high of the March bounce. So NIO bulls have a steeper hill to climb. But that looks like a healthy pullback. And again, there were signs today, multiple times today, where bullish correlation started showing up. And there was a little news blip, and shout out for. So shout out to Nab for posting into the chat room, but it was saying U.S. electric car incentive is rumored, keyword rumored, to increase to $10,000 in program reform. So bullish the EV space. And again, that's enough to just tilt the scales a little bit to start seeing a little bit of a bullish correlation to QQQ. The question is, can it last more than a day? And that's a lot of what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. Because again, NIO needs the first daily trend change since 64.60 top. As we are trying to set a monthly high or low off of EMA support. And there's a lot of names that are already setting their monthly high or lows and now looking for monthly lower highs. But NIO and Tesla have not convincingly set those monthly high or lows yet. And you can see Tesla is much closer to doing so. Top watch for the rest of the week. MSOS. So again, watching for a daily trend change. The bulls need to hold a high or low. Very low bear volume stands out. But I'm not going to cut any slack for these bulls. They must hold 38.80 and break 44.68 to confirm the trend change and try and set a monthly high or low, which would be a confirmed weekly downtrend straight into a decent bounce, which means zoom out and look for healthy consolidation on a longer term time frame. So again, when you lose an hourly uptrend, you confirm an hourly downtrend with no follow through, it's a potential daily bull flag. And bulls are hoping that the weekly confirmed downtrend sees no follow through to keep the monthly consolidation healthy. So bulls need to prove it for the rest of the week. What do we got? 3 trading days left. And if they don't, in Thursday's video, I will let them have it and say they failed. The VIX, flat and sideways. So if we're going to get a bounce, we're looking at 2180. If we break these inside bars bullish, if we break them bearish, we're looking at the low of 1730. But again, there's no red flags in this market whatsoever. And if we see healthy market consolidation, we'll look for a bounce and a lower high. It would need to be much more than healthy market consolidation with high bear volume if we were going to see a big spike. Dollar weak. So the dollar is now pulled back significantly enough that when we bounce from here, we will be scouting a daily lower high compared to the 93.44 top. And then the bulls in metals and everywhere else will be hoping for a confirmed daily downtrend. So 91.30, anything above that's a daily high or low. We've got the hourly RSI oversold, the 4-hour RSI is oversold. So we're scouting a daily high or low soon. We know the metals are due to top out on this bounce soon, but they're keeping nice control. And I feel a lot more comfortable today than I did after yesterday. Because if yesterday was our top, I'm not so sure we got space for a daily high or low. But with this next leg up, we got 1756, the resistance on gold. But again, even if we reject from here, best case scenario, if we do reject from that level, set a quick little daily high or low, while the dollar sets a quick little daily lower high. Dollar confirms the daily downtrend. Gold confirms the bull break of resistance, the weekly double bottom, and weekly resistance break, which is potentially setting the 2-month high or low off of EMA 12 support. In a perfect world, we'll see. Silver, same thing, keeping the 4-hour uptrend going, daily bounce, creating the space now. And if we had rejected from the EMA 12, wouldn't be sure about how much space we have for the daily trend change attempt. And again, I'm not going to, let's look at this 12-hour. Haven't looked at it in a while. But I'm not going to cut the bulls any slack. I am in bullish positions. I want the bulls to go up. You have to confirm daily trend changes to prove it. So I look at this and someone might look at this and say, oh, we're breaking bullish. But all you got to do is just tweak the line 0.2 of a centimeter. So it will be a daily trend change that breaks this 12-hour falling wedge bullish, in my opinion, and keeping an eye out for the potential of a temporary top. I might short metals in a different account to offset a pullback in daily consolidation. That's one thing that's helped my month in April start off well. It's my swing positions in metals over the last 4 days. Miners, weekly trend changed. We know a lot of that has to do with the broader market strength But metals bulls are certainly looking at that and saying, I hope that we follow along. It's not a convincing break. We're extended. If we pull back, the bulls will need to see a daily higher low and follow through. And we're watching the hourly uptrend on the metals and watching for a bounce on the dollar and watching for daily consolidation on the metals. Oil, still a bit choppy in this range. And honestly, I don't know what time frame I like the best to look at it. The most important support is 57.25. The most important resistance is 62.27. That's a very wide range. And we're holding it so far. 4 hour has to change the trend bullish. I guess we can draw some trend lines here. Find some clarity. We got 3 touches on our support line. I like that one a lot. Don't want to cut off any candles. I like that. So there's clarity. We'll see how this pattern breaks. We'll check in on it tomorrow, 4 hour time frame. Natural gas, bear flag confirmed. Again, this is a scenario where at no point in time were we ever fooled on this bounce. We were saying bear flag, bear flag, bear flag, because the bulls proved absolutely nothing to us. And here we are confirming the bear flag. And now the bears need to ensure follow through. We've seen plenty of times where a bear flag breaks with a lack of follow through straight into a bull move. There's obviously no sign of that whatsoever at this point. If we see a red day tomorrow, it'll be convincing follow through for me. After 2432, we do have 2427 right here. And then there's a lack of support until 226. Bear flag confirmed. Bears in control of natural gas. So really the only notable trade I took today, I took a SQQQ position, top fishing high of yesterday, which I stopped out of for a small loss this morning. Had a small win on DISCA. Been looking for this daily higher low. This is one of the liquidation names with Bill, whatever his name is, who lost 10 billion. But we've got our low, higher the bounce. We knew a higher low was the most likely scenario. So just watching for the hourly trend change to set up. I missed the initial morning bull move, so I got in a little bit late. Wasn't a big win by any means. It was a small win. Bulls have to break 46.18 to confirm a little daily trend change and see bounce follow through. Really the most clear trade I took today was NIO. Seeing the hourly consolidation, saying, okay, QQQ is really weak right now during this consolidation. NIO is way above its low of the day. I know an hourly ho is very likely. And we need a 5-minute trend change back to the bulls to set that hourly ho. So we've got a 5-minute time frame here in a clear downtrend, and I'm watching it, and I'm saying, okay, size of this bounce is significant enough for me to watch for a 5-minute trend change to try and set up. And at this point in time, QQQ was 5-minute oversold right here and touching the low of the day. And we double bottomed at the low of the day. We held it by 15 cents or so. And so that was another reason why I was scouting now. Why didn't I scout the last time? Because the QQQ setup wasn't as favorable. So, saw the bounce. I said, all right, I'm entering on a 5-minute higher low. Saw the little pullback. Made my entry 39.77. Put my stop under 39.50. And then we confirmed the 5-minute trend change. Exited half of my position around $40. That puts my break even pretty much at 39.50. And then I was going to swing it if we could see a new high of the day. I said, all right, I'm watching. There's my bias. I'm watching for the shift back towards these Biden names and the EV space. Prove it to me, bulls. Break the high of the day. Confirm that hourly higher low and higher high, and I will swing the second half of this position. And they didn't, so I exited on these rejections at the end of the day and locked in my profit, and I'll start tomorrow with a fresh, clean slate. Still looking for the same thing, but again, that's me not succumbing to my bias. I set a clear criteria. Break the high, I'll swing it. If you don't, I won't. And they didn't. That's all I got. Hope you have a good day. Hope you do good things, and we will see you tomorrow. Flowers starts getting bigger. I'll probably put them outside in a couple weeks if the forecast looks good. I decided to do some tomatoes as well, and I got some cucumbers going, some other stuff. I'm gonna buy some starch from friends this year rather than having 30 trays of starch. You feeling pretty good? Rhubarb took a hit. Good news is generally leaves are more resilient. This is all the blackberry leaves coming on. These yellow flowers are a bunch of weeds that people would otherwise be battling. I prefer to let them do their thing. More progress.